You're a dime a dozen. You're a cog on the wheel. You're just a spoke. If you're willing to take the pain, the sharp pain of getting lacerations on the face, and I think I'm the only one that's really being transparent in terms of this. Probably shouldn't be this transparent, but like...
That could be fight of the night. There are no losers in this dojo.
Oh, hey! Didn't see you there, Jon Nutt. Full Metal Dojo. Make some content for our Full Metal Dojo Patreon account so that you got exclusive content. You can see all the stuff that's going on there. But I also want to just give news and updates of the things that I'm doing as the driving force behind the most awesome dojo on the planet, Asia's favorite mixed martial arts organization. I have people chiming in right now. Set the timer. Set the timer for 30 minutes, because if I don't, I can talk for hours to myself. And we're just going to roll with it. So I'm going to talk about the upcoming BKFC event that is August 20th in Biloxi, Mississippi. I've never been to Mississippi. MISSISSIPPI. Rashid, you're the one guy that's with me. I can see that. You see how that rolls. Malaysian invasion, for anybody that doesn't know, ruled the scene via Toon Talk, which was the number 3, I think, telecom company at that time. I don't know what it is now because I'm not living in Malaysia. But I did just order a Malaysian t-shirt that says New Zealand below the flag, which I plan on wearing in Malaysia just to piss people off. Upcoming BKFC card. I will be there in Biloxi, Mississippi. I'm super excited because I'll be flying into New Orleans. I'll be doing a night on Bourbon Street in New Orleans, and then I'll be making my way over to Biloxi, Mississippi, where I'll be meeting with Brian Sosha, because I just met that guy and did his podcast for the BKFC this past weekend in the BKFC offices outside of Philadelphia. Dave Feldman was having all his announcements, such as Chad Mendez being on there, and I think it's fantastic that, again, the BKFC giving an outlet to UFC fighters, former UFC fighters, former WWE fighters, former people of combat sports that want to get into the game of bare knuckle fighting, which I think has a huge future because, but let's also face it, because not everybody can box, but everybody can kind of do bare knuckle. If you're willing to take the pain, the sharp pain of getting lacerations on the face, you could do that. There's been like 4 deaths this year in combat sports. Anybody know that? Where have those been? They've been in boxing. I think 2 of them happened in Afghanistan. 1 in Kazakhstan, something like that. They all happen in the stands. Stanish. They know how to hit people in the head, don't they? So, in the stands, somebody got whacked with like 300 punches to the head. Brain rattles around, concussions happen, brain starts to swell, goes into your, the blood starts stopping, and then again, you go into a coma, you slip into a coma, life support gets taken off, you die. I can see good old Fletch chimed in with chess boxing. That will be happening in fight circuses in the future. Upcoming BKFC event, upcoming BKK event, the High Rollers in Vegas, their next one, Lion Fight in Boston, and then I'll talk a little bit more about the Patreon channel that we have. So, first and foremost, that BKFC card. That BKFC card is a fairly stacked card, and I just want to go over my favorites on it. That Reggie Barnett, Johnny Bedford fight. Main event, 135-pound title on the line. I think those guys are fantastic. And Reggie Barnett, gem of a human being out of Virginia Beach. He is a manimal, and I think that's going to be fireworks. But the one that I'm looking forward to most on that card is the return to combat sports of Alan. I have a horrible tattoo on my shoulder, Belcher. We know him from Thailand. He is Thailand trained. He trained in Tiger Muay Thai, Phuket. He's friends with the Hickmans. Everybody's friends with the Hickmans because they're beautiful. They're not hard on the eyes, are they? But Alan Belcher has turned into a manimal of a human being. Not only is he doing so many things entrepreneurial-wise, boosting marketing, probably writing books, doing video. He's doing content all the time. I'm sure he's getting a lot more views than I am. But aside from all the entrepreneur stuff, you can clearly see that he has worked out. He's not afraid of fitness. he does some ab work and some glutes. Every once in a while, he trains his butt off. The guy has traps that are coming out of his frickin' ears. He's huge now. Now, you might remember, he was in one of the best UFC fights ever against Brandon Vera. Remember they were going for those leg locks? Switching it up. Man can also play the guitar, so he's multi-talented. Obviously a driven human being, and he's one of these people that is coming from the UFC and going into bare knuckle fighting championship. And personally, I think that's great. I think it's absolutely lovely. And he's taking on Tony Lopez. Tony has been in there with everybody. We all love Tony's braided hair. The man has a face that needs to have, you could fit your fist between his nose and his Cro-Magnon forehead. He is also a gorgeous human being. I mean that in heart. Absolute gem. This is the rock versus the gem, the diamond versus the piece of coal. And when you get those two together, the friction starts happening, and boom, you've got pearl necklaces. Pearl Gonzalez is the champion, so that wasn't a sexual innuendo at all. That was all talking about Pearl, who I hope will be on the future cards. Who else do they have on that? Another former UFC fighter from like back in the day, Melvin Gillard, who has been in everything. And he's also fought in other BKFC, bare knuckle boxing organizations. So I'm excited to see these former UFC guys, especially Chad Mendes, who I don't know who he's fighting yet. But Chad Mendes saying that he's going in at 155 could be doing some damage in that. I mean, that guy's a truck. He's a cylindrical human being. He looks like a can, just an aluminum can. And again, I can't wait for him. Quentin Henry versus Jason Fish is the other one on that card that I think everybody's excited about, because Quentin Henry coming off a loss, when you've got that type of hairstyle, you are never losing, my friend. When you have that type of just so glow, you are never losing. I can't wait. A lot of people love the fish. What's the price of fish these days? Has it gone up? It will go up if he beats Quentin Henry. I can tell you that much. The price of fish will go up if Quentin Henry is taken out in the first 3 rounds. Will it go the distance? I don't know. I do not know. Now, I was in the BKFC offices this past week, and we did talk about the following BKK show. And as the minutes turn down, because I'm watching this little timer here, bing, bang, bong, I see you there, Som Young War, one of the best dudes who will be fighting bare knuckle in the future. We talked about the future of the BKK card. Now, the future of the BKK card really rests on the future of Phuket and Thailand during this motley period, this time of uncertainty, COVID, the pandemic. It's all happening. The Pearl of the Endman has the sandbox, which you are allowed to fly into if you are a vaccinated human being. I saw on Joe Rogan, he was talking about vaccination passports. I'm not going to get into any of that. I'm going to follow the whole Dave Feldman and the Dana White and say that you do not need to be vaccinated to fight in any of my organizations. That's a good thing. Where's the bad thing? I think vaccination passports will happen either way if you want to travel, right? Maybe you won't be able to go into a restaurant in New York and you'll have to sit on a patio if you don't have your vaccination card. But I can tell you this, if you are a fighter and you want to fight in Fight Circus or the BKK shows and you fly over to Thailand, if you're unvaccinated, you get to pay for your 14 days quarantine. You have that privilege. That is now a privilege that you have. Not only can you fly over to Phuket, I might pay for your flights. We do flights and accommodations and all that type of stuff. But you know what I'm not paying for, which you have the privilege of paying for? Quarantine. You, my friend, you have the privilege of paying for quarantine. So when will the next BKK show? Where will the next Bare Knuckle Kingdom show happen? And who will be on it? Well, we did discuss how BKK, the show, is going to be very experimental. We will go from the outside venues that were showing off the islands and that beautiful sea and that postcard living, looking like a screensaver. We will actually try one in a nightclub with big LEDs and things of that nature. But I guess that won't happen until next year. Whereas I think, ding, 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 I think the next BKK card is going to happen around Halloween. Halloween is when I'm looking to do the next Bare Knuckle Kingdom show. I want people dressed up. I want them to be freak shows. I want skulls. I want vampires. I want to suck blood. And I want that blood to be running off of sweet, sweet Thai people's faces. Like Fanta. Like Top Noi. Could I get Top Noi from Full Metal Dojo and Risen into it? I think I could. I want war. I want war. Samyang War, where you at? And I want ladies like Po Denman and Sori Manfredi to be back with us. I think Sori, if she has one more win in bare knuckle boxing, I think she could come over and she could take out any of the people in BKFC. That's not a challenge. It's just a fact. So I think that the next Bare Knuckle Kingdom card will be in October. I think it will be an outside event because I think that I will play and maneuver and adjust around the pandemic. I will not fight it. I will not. Because although I am a fighter, I am not a smart individual and I don't think anybody should follow me. Not a doctor. No, I'm not. I'm smart enough to know that I'm not a doctor, which is great. So I will bring back a lot of the BKK folks for that. I know that times are tough in Thailand, and thus people are actually making moves. And I suggest that. Adjust. Do the best of your abilities to adjust. So if you're able to take a fight as a fighter somewhere else in another country, if you're able to go over to Russia and go with hardcore or something like that, and you have these opportunities, do it. If I was a BKFC fighter and I wanted more bare knuckle action right now, where I would move is the States. If you come to the States, it's blowing up here. Dave Feldman, fantastic human being. And again, the guy is very open. You can get in touch with Nate Shook, the matchmaker, very easily on Facebook. Let him know who you are. A lot of fighters just sit back and think that these promoters are going to reach out to them. We're not. We're not. Sorry to say, but you're a dime a dozen these days. Am I cutting too deep? You're a dime a dozen. You're a cog on the wheel. You're just a spoke. And if I can't have you, guess what? I'm going to get somebody else to replace you. And unless you can bring in the views, I personally am not at a high enough level where that matters. Because you're not selling tickets. You're not. People are coming to see me. Right? That's the way I marketed the show. Because I was intelligent about it. From way back when. Nong Rose on a BKK card. I believe that, well, she doesn't really want to do other sports. We've talked to her about doing MMA before. She priced herself out very, very fast from my organization. She also is not really trying to travel. She loves where she's at in the world in Isan, and she will be going to those type of things. Yeah, I think there's a lot of explosions that are coming in the bare knuckle world. I think for promoters, it's going to be a very big new one. And I've said this again, and I think I'm the only one that's really being transparent in terms of this. Probably shouldn't be this transparent, but like, if you are a minor league MMA promotion, and you have a big injury, and you don't have a huge insurance plan, or you're not in a country that pays for insurance plans. So I think doing like an MMA event in England would be great. Because if you have somebody that like separates their shoulder or tears their ACL, they can go to get healthcare at the hospital right there and A-OK. Say you're in America and your fighter is uninsured. Oh, how fun would that be if they tore an ACL? Can I get a $30,000 bill? Yeah, what did I pay you for a fight purse? I paid you like $1,500 because you're not in the UFC yet, so I paid you like $1,500, $2,000, and then I get to pay a $36,000 bill for an ACL tear? Oh, the dream begins, my friends. That's what I want to do. I want to pay everybody's medical bills. Lacerations, not concussions. Broken fingers, not broken orbitals. Yeah, I said orbitals because that's the probably way that. I don't even know. Aluminium, my friends. You say aluminium in Australia, not in America. It's aluminum. Shit, Rick. Listen up. So, upcoming BKFC card, August 20th. Make sure you get the BKTV app. Application is fantastic. Allows you a lot of different organizations, such as the Gamebred, Bare Knuckle MMA, and the Bare Knuckle Kingdom. BKK event, Halloween. That's what we're going for. That's what we want. That's what we want to do. I definitely want more Thais, Burmese, Khmer warriors on there. I definitely want more ladies. The Glob, the gorgeous ladies of Bare Knuckle. That's an acronym. That's an acronym. GLOB. Gorgeous ladies of Bare Knuckle. I want them on the BKK card. I want Sorry Man Freddy back. I want Poe Deadman back. Let's get them on there. I am not a fan of the GoFundMe because I think of it as a charitable thing, and I think fighters really shouldn't use charitable organizations to be getting money, but to each his own. There are different websites out there right now where you can use to make cash. We are using Patreon. Full Metal Dojo started a Patreon channel. You can go join it. It has like 3 options right now, but those options will grow vastly in the future. Like you'll be able to get t-shirts, you'll be able to get videos, you'll be able to get books, you'll be able to get trips to Thailand, you'll be able to get training sessions with Sanchai, you'll be able to get training sessions with Buakaw, and that will all be in our Patreon account. I didn't want to go the GoFundMe route because I felt like it was too much of a charity. And I don't think fighters need charity. I think fighters should be fighters. Now, whether that's fighting in the ring or fighting in life, you should be able to fend for your fucking self. Go hunt. You're supposed to be a hunter, right? Not a gatherer. You're a hunter. Go out. Get the meat. Nobody ever saw any pictures in caves of our ancestors eating salads. You can't find one picture in a cave from the Stone Man era of people sitting back eating salad. They're all spears, and they're going after that meat. And I think fighters should be the same way. If you are big and bold enough to take off your shirt, step into a ring, and fight somebody bare knuckle, or big and bold and bad enough to fight somebody in a cage, you should be big, bad, and bold enough to get another income. Facts are facts. If you can take off your shirt and you're not embarrassed by that, you should be able to read a book. Work on your literacy skills. There are some professions out there that will allow you to never have to worry about financial compensation again. Become a lawyer. Boom. Just did that. Doctor. Oh, if you're going to spend 10 years getting a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, you can spend 10 years becoming a neuroscientist. Which one pays more? These are all choices in life. And if you can't figure these things out, you're up Schitt's Creek without a paddle, my friend. High Rollerz. They're doing an open in Vegas, Las Vegas, Nevada, August 21st and the 22nd. I am trying to be there, but I don't know because I have family obligations. I don't know if I will be able to make it. I will be in Biloxi, Mississippi on August 20th. I'm not sure if I'll be in the Las Vegas for the High Rollerz, but I want to give them a shout out, and I want to be at the next one in mid-September. But that all has to do with the pandemic and the way things are moving forward. High Rollerz is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu on weed. Let's just call it what it is. That's what it is. It was the most interesting MC job that I've ever had. I was not roasted or stoned to the bone when I was doing it. I was not smoking that that Khalifa Kush, that Dr. Dab, but they were all there. And it was really, really tough because the room is just filled with smoke. The athletes, most of them are California sober. And I just learned that term the other day. California sober means you don't drink, you don't do drugs, but you smoke the herb, the Mary Jane. And they all were smoking it. And everybody was smoking it because it's High Rollerz, because that's like kind of the thing. I was contact high from just being on the craziest, funniest event that I've done. One, because as an MC, you're generally trying to hype the crowd. Get up! Let's get up and let's get ill, fight fans! Let's get up and let's get ill, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fans! Everybody was so stoned, they were like, this guy's good. You're doing a good job. I'm like, can you make some noise? Can you get it up for the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioners that are here? Pump them up. Let them know that you want it there. This guy's fucking hilarious, man. So it was very, very tough to do. When am I going to go back into the kingdom? I would like to be back in early September. I would like to be back in early September into Phuket and working on that next Bare Knuckle Kingdom show and the next Fight Circus, which again, I think both of those will happen around Halloween. I think they'll both have to be outdoor events because of the protocols of events coordination in Phuket specifically. But this will bring us to our next little topic of Fight Circus. I'm trying to do Fight Circus in the States. We haven't really been talking about that. I think I mentioned it once or twice just to friends, but I really want to I think Fight Circus in America, Fight Circus is meant for America. When you're born, you're given a ticket to the freak show of life. And if you're born in America, you're given a front row ticket. So if Fight Circus is just made for America, it's made for Vegas. It's made for Las Vegas. Now people are like, yeah, the Nevada State Athletic Commission will never allow you to do that. They'll never allow you to do it. They'll allow me to do it. They know who I am. They know the big balls that I got. And I'm talking to them. There are certain rules that you can get around. I adjust. I make moves. I do things that are out of the box. You guys are squares. I'm over there. And so I really do want to try to get a Fight Circus going on in America. If I can make it happen, it would happen in late September. And so I would stay in America until then. If I'm not able to get it kicked off, and I will know that by August 20th, by the time I go to Mississippi for BKFC. If I'm able to do it, if the sponsors come on board, if everybody wants to make it happen, we will be doing it. It would be our first little pay-per-view. We would do it on multiple platforms. I wouldn't have any one exclusive channel. I'm not going to tell you how I'm going to adjust because I don't want to give away all my surprises, but I can tell you what that fight card would entail. Ultimate Sumo. Ultimate Sumo is a new one that's going to happen in the Fight Circus realm. What is Ultimate Sumo? I'm going to do football, NFL versus NRL rugby for the first one. So that will basically be two guys lying on their backs, referee in the middle, referee dressed in traditional Japanese garb, all of the Olympics, and then he would toot the old horn, stand, collide, one of them wins. It's basically your basic Pop Warner tackling drill. Now again, does the Nevada State Athletic Commission have anything against Pop Warner tackling drills? I don't think they do. I think they like it. I think they really like it. So Ultimate Sumo is definitely going to be on there. Indian leg wrestling. Been talking to Brandy May. Oh, when I was bringing up before how bare knuckle is giving an outlet to fighters, what do I see with Fight Circus? I want them all. If you were fighting in the UFC and you are too injured, too banged up, weren't making enough money, you can come over to my freak show, my friends. Come over to this. Fight Circus, and I'll let you slap a Russian, I'll let you throw a midget. Why wouldn't we? Ooh. So one of the ones that I really want to do is I want to have my first equestrian act, okay? And by that, I don't mean real horse jumping. I mean horse throwing. That's right. I want to get two strong men, right? Like Eddie Hall and a Bjorn, because they're not actually fighting. Maybe I can get the mountain. Maybe I can get some other strong men from Iceland. I don't know. I'm not there yet. But what I want them to do is I want to get Crazy Horse, Felony, Charles Bennett, and see how far they could throw him. Right? So it's like a human shot put or an equestrian thing. Crazy horse jumping, we could call it. We could call it crazy horse jumping. And Bjorn would have Crazy Horse, and he would shot put him into a pool of jello or something along those lines, and it would be pure comedy. Who can throw Crazy Horse the farthest? That would be something that I really want to put together. Fight Circus, again, trying to do it in Vegas. If the Vegas show can't happen, it'll happen in Halloween. We've got multiple Fight Circuses lined up, and those will happen again. Like, that's now a thing because sponsors galore. I've been doing MMA for the last decade, and it is tough. Like, I'm not a salesman. People think I'm amazing at sales. Funny thing is, I'm just passionate about what I do, and people like it, so they come on board. Jason Mayhem Miller will definitely be on board with Fight Circus. Like, I've spoken to him multiple times. I want him as commentary again. The commentary teams that I'm going out for are fantastic, but I definitely want Mayhem to be on board with the commentary team. So I'm going to talk about Lion Fight next. Lion Fight, I think this is, wouldn't you say, fight fans, that it is America's biggest Muay Thai show? Scott Kent is doing fantastic things with that. He got it up on UFC Fight Pass, so they're going to be, August has been a huge month for them. They did a show in Italy, show in Glasgow, Scotland coming up, and then show August 27th in Boston, Massachusetts, my hometown, Beantown, baby, on Lansdowne Street. That's right behind the Green Monster. It's right behind Fenway Park, the home of the Sox, the best baseball team to ever exist, ever, in the universe, in time and space. And so, it'll be at the House of Blues, a Live Nation station event, and I can't wait for that. 3 title bouts on the line, and my favorite is, of course, Bazooka Joe is on there. Bazooka Joe Stripling, big boys. He's in that heavyweight tournament final, taking on Warren the Destroyer Thompson. I would love to see the winner of that. I would love to see Panda Banks come in there. Steve Panda Banks is one of the scariest fighters on the planet when it comes to stand-up. I mean, I don't want to take anything away from his ground skills or his MMA skills, but Bazooka Joe Stripling versus a Steve the Panda Banks, that would be fantastic. I would really appreciate that fight. I think you got 3 title fights on that. So Steve, put him to sleep. Walker versus Linda Knowles is also on that, and Michael Ironbaby Triana versus Brandon Rafferty. Rafferty's got that. He's got the face of a man that is from the 1920s and wants to be fisticuffies. So I really enjoy him. Lion Fight, I will be there on August 27th in Boston. I'll be there for the media day. I'll be there for the weigh-ins. I'm very much looking forward to it. If you are coming from the Boston area and you want tickets, hit me up. I might have a couple. Would love to have you come. Luke Welling, I know, will be there. And anytime Luke Welling's in the house, angels get their wings. Am I right? You know what I mean? When Luke Welling goes to an event, angels are crowned. So, that brings us on to our Patreon account. Why do we do the Patreon account? We did the Patreon account because I don't think the fighters need charity, although some of them do. I was 30 minutes of talking and it went by like that. Just snooze button. I'd like to give a shout out to my buddy Dang. Dang is out of Phuket Top Team. Dang has been a trainer for so many of those who have been Thailand trained. He's making Hmong calls during this time where he can't take training, during these times where he can't take fights or win purses. He's making Hmong calls. So go check out the Phuket Top Team fight store and buy those Hmong calls because they go directly to Dang's family. That dude needs a pick-me-up. A lot of people are sad and depressed these days. Remember that you can just change your attitude. Really, you can. You can decide to be happy. You can dance naked in front of a mirror. If that makes you laugh because you have a small penis, I'm not saying that I do it. I'm just saying that it's what some people do to change their attitudes, boost those dopamines. It's your brain. It's your brain. All you need to do is fire off the neurons and fire off the things that you can fire off, and you'll rock it. Oh, I see that my buddy Brandon Mendez has chimed in, and he did chime in with Indian leg wrestling. October is the big month that I am going to venture off into professional wrestling. We will be making some professional wrestling moves in Phuket. We will be making some professional wrestling moves in Thailand. For those of you in the U.S. that enjoy this, up your alley, because I'll be doing everything for a U.S. time base. I'll be doing everything moving forward. Right now, I have no plans, while I'm not allowed audience, food and beverage merch, and all that type of stuff to go on in terms of events coordinating. I'll be going out for the U.S. audience. We will be doing pay-per-view events. We will be looking at that Fight TV. We will be looking at that, again, doing them on Patreon. I wouldn't be shocked if we set up OnlyFans. Everybody relates OnlyFans to girls taking their tops off. That's not all it is. Fan time as well. Fan time. There are a lot of these platforms right now And why should people be adjusting? Why should fight promoters be adjusting? They should be adjusting because they're not taking as much of the revenue from your event. Okay? Like if you're on one of these bigger ones that claim to have huge marketing budgets and huge marketing deals, they take like if you're on a pay-per-view platform that says it has a large marketing budget, they generally want to take like 40% of your pay-per-view rev. So again, if you sell a pay-per-view for $10, they take 4. That's a lot. That's a lot. So I don't want them to take that much. If you're on Fight, or if you're on like Fan Time or OnlyFans or Patreon or GoFundMe, now nobody's really doing pay-per-views on these. Follow the leader, my friend. But really, I'm just an events coordinator. I'm a fight promoter, but at the end of the day, what do I want to do? Events, movement, content provision, making magic. So, this has been Jon Nutt talking. This is like a kind of a Full Metal Dojo podcast. I don't know the name of it. Please type below what you think I should call it. And make sure you check out the Patreon account, www.patreon.com/FullMetalTV. This has been Jon Nutt. You're the real hero.
Can you dig it? That could be fight of the night. There are no losers in this dojo.